Africa feels targeted, rightly or wrongly. It's like only African leaders are being arraigned before the ICC.
The International Criminal Court, from its own record of the work that has been done since the Rome Statute was adopted, shows clearly, with no shadow of a doubt, that it is a court created for Africans, and it is used mostly by Europe to manipulate African politics. You cannot tell me...
Where does the ICC chief prosecutor come from?
Where is a white man? Where is a white man convicted by this court from the moment it started? Are you telling me there are no crimes in parts where people have a lighter skin? We don't believe in that court.
Should we look at the facts?
We never wanted to belong to the Rome Statute.
The International Criminal Court, also known as the ICC, was set up in 2002 to bring to justice perpetrators of genocide, war crimes, crimes against humanity, and the crime of aggression. But the effectiveness and legitimacy of the court has been widely questioned. The U.S. has been especially vocal in its opposition.
As far as America is concerned, the ICC has no jurisdiction, no legitimacy, and no authority.
You're losing Africa's participation in this court.
I don't think I am losing Africa.
That's a central blow to the credibility of this court.
I do not think that the voices of a few leaders or a few people from Africa should be used to disregard.
However, the court received a vote of no confidence yesterday when South Africa announced it will withdraw from the court's oversight. It's the second nation to do so. The other is Burundi, and it's unclear how many countries might follow their lead.
African leaders have also said, let's level the playing field to make sure that what happens at ICC should be applied throughout the world. And African leaders have said, we are ready to sit down and see how we can reform it.
The court also has the added pressure of Robert Mugabe, Zimbabwean president, recently installed as the chairperson of the African Union, calling for all AU countries to remove their signature from the ICC founding statute.
Desmond Tutu in South Africa saying African leaders behind the move to leave the International Criminal Court are seeking a license to kill, maim and oppress their people without consequences. So the whole problem of impunity in the countries that are leaving the International Criminal Court is being posed.
So why is this happening among African nations and not everywhere else? Do they feel disproportionately prosecuted?
That is the complaint, in fact. All 6 current prosecutions or prosecutions in the process are of Africans. And so far, the ICC has not indicted or pressed charges against any other people from any other part of the world. The ICC does have investigations pending against leaders of Colombia and Afghanistan, but so far no charges have been pressed. And so African leaders have said, they've complained for a couple years now or more, that it's only Africans that the ICC is pressing charges against, and they think that that is unfair.
A follower who goes by the name The Dictator, ominously, says, I'm not convinced we need an African court to deal with African problems, Tiseke.
I'm afraid I disagree with some of your followers. Look, at the end of the day, we're talking about the victims of serious crimes here, and the justice that they require, and the justice that they need. All this high-minded rhetoric about African solutions for African problems is simply that, high-minded rhetoric to shield African leaders, abusive African leaders, from the serious crimes that they've been committing across the continent for many decades now. And that is not an excuse. I think people are losing sight. It's the victims of all this that count, not our leaders, not a handful of African leaders.